And how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So I had a plan, and my plan was to show you guys my progression towards one bill in this video, but I just did not like it all the way I recorded the last video, so we're just going to skip that, and instead I'm going to show you guys the 10 most profitable, I shouldn't say most profitable because it's not like in a row, but the 10 most efficient favorite, I guess, flips that I have for this month of May so far, and it'll go into June as well. So this video will be good for May and June, and actually really beyond, because these items that I'm going to show you guys, they are constantly good, they're efficient flips, and they're always going to have some type of margin on them. Now, there's obviously some caveats to that, but overall, they're really solid flips. So without further ado, if you guys enjoy this video, if you find it very informational, then please leave a comment down below, like the video, and consider subscribing. It really helps me out, really motivates me to keep going and making content for you guys. Besides for that, let's get into the video. And coming in at number 1, in no particular order, are Rune dart tips. So right now they have a buy of 890 and 890, so it's even, a pretty decent quantity sold and bought per hour. And as you can see, they have drastically decreased. I would consider it drastically decreased all the way to 881, 890 right now. But for today, you can see the margins here: 893, 821 to 893. Insane margins. And the point of this is that the Rune dart tips, they have been dropping way below what I feel that their normal value is for this particular item. So this is a really good item for you guys to invest in, and it's a good item to flip. I will tell you personally, I'm holding on to a few of these, hoping that they will rise up. But throughout this entire month, they've never dropped below 900 up until the past 1 or 2 days. So this month so far, only flipping about, I think, 3.5 inventories of them, I've earned 1.2 mil. Average buy price of 912, average sell price of 967. That is just the average, guys. So I've had some pretty decent profits on these. As you guys can see, I had a 506,000 GP flip on these puppies, 339,000, 107,000. They are a really solid item for you guys to be flipping. You should 100% be checking them out, because I truly believe that they are going to go back up in price, and there are going to be a lot of people that are going to make a lot of money off of these. And next we have Bones to Peaches, which are one of my favorite flips to do. So current buy price of 10.94, and as you guys are going to see down here, they usually stay over 1,000, but they can drop drastically in price whenever they get dumped onto the GE. So you see right there, they went for 950, they go for 1,000 here around May 19th, May 20th, right around the same price. Those margins are there though. Usually you can expect 50 plus, I would say, on a good day, margins on these Bones to Peaches. Now, as you can see right here, today somebody decided to dump these, and they had a massive drop on them. They're selling for under 900 each. So you can get some absolutely insane margins on these Bones to Peaches. The only downside, they can take a little while to sell. So for this past month for me, I haven't really flipped that many of them, but 733k profit on less than an inventory full of these Bones to Peaches. Average profit 77 GP each one I sell. So like I said, guys, these are really insane flips. They're ones that I recommend you guys like add to the background whenever you're doing questing or whatever you guys decide to do in this beautiful game. That's when you guys should be trying to buy these Bones to Peaches. And very similar to Rune dart tips, we have Dragon dart tips. Now, I would say Dragon dart tips, I don't think they're crashing as of the making of this video. Actually, they are a little bit, but not crazily. They do have some pretty insane margins on them, better margins actually than the Rune dart tips, I would say. I've seen upwards of 200 GP margin on these before once they get dumped. So once again, they can get pretty insane, but they are, I think, a little bit riskier, in my opinion, than Rune dart tips. However, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. As you can see, for the day, we've had some pretty insane margins on them, selling for about 27 or so. You can buy them, 29 up there, 27 to 29. They can get pretty insane. And what I've noticed is it usually happens whenever there's not that high of a traffic in the game, but that kind of makes sense with the supply and demand. Now, why I love these boys is because they are my most profitable flips so far this week. 4.16 mil, flipping about 4 or so GE limits worth of them. Absolutely insane. 28.35 buying price, 29.30 selling price. 91 GP profit on each one I flip, guys. Once again, these can get pretty insane. So overall, I was really happy with them, and you guys should definitely check out Dragon Dart Tips if you have the cash stack. Oh my god, I'm so going to butcher this. Next one's Toxilax. Toxilax.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Whatever it is. Toxilax, I've had whatever they I don't know. I've had a lot of luck with them over this past week. Buying them for like $4.25 and selling them for $4.49 or maybe even $4.75. They have been pretty insane for me, and as you guys can see, there always seems to be a decent margin on them, consistent margin of about 25k plus. So right now they're selling for $4.39, but I usually never sell them for that. I have got them as low as $4.01 or $4.02,000. Now these are items that they're kind of a low volume, so they do take a while to sell, but once again, they are extremely profitable. So 89 of them I've sold, and I've made 2.34 mil, guys. 2.3 mil selling 89 of these. Average profit 26k each one I was able to sell. So once again, guys, I really love these. You should 100% check them out. Once again, they do take a little bit to sell, but they are so worth it if you have that extra money to spend. Now, Air Orbs was one I was not going to recommend. I was actually going to make a video on them, but they have been absolutely ludicrous this past month or so, actually. So as you can see, they peaked at like 1924, and they have been just dropping like crazy, but that seems to be a pattern from what I can tell in the monthly chart here on GE Tracker, which if you guys haven't checked out GE Tracker, please do. It's just getracker.com. It is an amazing website. Just go give it a look. It is amazing. But look, they dropped down to less than 1400, 1380 I think is what I bought them for, and I sold them for over 1700 GP. Guys, they can have some absolutely insane margins on them. As you can tell, the reason why they dropped there is because there was obviously a massive dump on them. Insane, guys. So once again, you should definitely be checking out Air Orbs. I will say the margins can be very volatile and they can change quickly. That's really the only concerning thing I have about these. And as you guys can tell, 1.77 mil flipping about 4 GE limits of these, 41 GP or so profit each. Average buy price of $16.71 and selling price of $17.26. Now obviously it is not that anymore. They are crashing a little bit more, but they are definitely one that you should be watching out on, because let me tell you, the margins can be pretty insane. Next we have Mithril Bolts, which are an absolutely insane item margin wise. Like, look at the margins on some of these. It's usually 70 GP to 60 GP, selling for 200 to 300 plus GP, and that's just from this week, all the way up to 275 on May 23rd, guys. They can get pretty ludicrous. So most of the time they stay 50, 60 GP each, but once again, they can shoot up there once people really want to buy them. Like, they can have some ludicrous margins on them. So I have made personally a decent penny flipping these items. You should 100% check them out, because the profit's always going to be there for these boys. Yeah, so I flipped about less than 2 limits of them, 397k for some Mithril Bolts. Bought them for 66, average selling price of 99. 48.6% return on investment on Mithril Bolts, guys. 32 GP each one I sold. So for something that usually sells for less than 60 GP, it's a no-brainer to flip. And next we have Dragon Darts. So, you know, selling quantity 32,000 an hour. Sorry, buying quantity 32,000 an hour, selling quantity like 14. But overall, these are a really solid item. They have been shooting up in price a little bit. As you guys can see, there's this little hill in the road right here, but they have shot back down. So you can see there's always a decent margin on them. I expect 20 to 30 plus GP margins if it's a good one. But once again, I have seen greater than that. So they have been pretty insane for me this week. They've profited me a pretty penny so far. So as you guys can see, 2500, 2400s is selling. You can get them all the way down to 2401, 2450. So 30 plus GP margins on them. You can easily expect that from Dragon Darts. So for this week, we've made 1.295 mil from them, flipping about 1.5 GE limits worth. So buy price 25.57, sell price 26.37, boys, 79 GP each. And that was a pretty high margin, I'll be honest with you, but 30, 40 GP, you can easily expect a margin at least of 30, 40 GP on Dragon Darts. Now, they buy and sell pretty quick, so there is really no disadvantage to them in my opinion. I think they're a really solid flip, and you guys definitely need to check them out. And next we have ranging potions, which are pretty similar to Mithril Bolts. Buying quantity about 14,000 an hour, selling quantity about 3,000. So the demand is always going to be there for these. I kind of consider them pretty close to Mithril Bolts in that they have that right around the same margin for an item that's fairly cheap. So as you guys can see, like 579, and you can buy them for about 450 or so. The margins can be pretty insane for how cheap of an item this is. You guys should definitely check it out if you have the cash stack to do that. I guess the only downside, it may take a little while to buy, but overall, they sell pretty quickly. And one of my personal favorites of this week has been Earth Orbs. So buying quantity only about 1.6k an hour and selling quantity of 6,000, it can get some pretty insane margins on them. At least I have for this week. So not like I said, not that huge buying and quantity amount per hour, but that selling quantity gets the price to shoot down like crazy. So like 1,400 and selling for 1,578, it can get pretty insane. So if we go to the day chart here, you can see those margins on them. 1628, 1494 to 1399. I've easily got 100 GP margins on them before, and actually as I'm making this video, I'm flipping them currently for I think it's like 102 GP margin right now, and they're flipping. So only downside, they do take a little while to sell, but overall, if you're willing to spend the money and take the time, they're a profitable item. I'll show you guys the proof here real quick. So about 11,000 Earth Orbs for 1,400, and this is what I'm selling them for right now, 1,558, guys. You can see they haven't sold for quite a while. It's because the margin's down, but I'm not going to drop these at all because I know they will sell eventually. So if you want to take a risk, please check them out. Now this next one may be controversial to a lot of people, and that's Dragonstone Bolts. So selling quantity, you know, 24,000, buying quantity 20,000 an hour. So not terrible, but look at the drop. Look at the absolute drop on these. So they can have absolutely insane margins. The only downside is it only happens like once or twice a day that I have seen personally, but they can get pretty insane, those margins. So like, I think I bought them for 500 and I sold them for like 600 something. I think I'll go ahead and show you guys that, but look at the margins on these. 11,000, one limit of them. Bought for 500, sold for 614. That's 114 GP each, guys. 22% return on investment. 1.25 mil. Nice. And I literally, as making this video, I was flipping them, got another 600k. Insta sold, insta bought. Absolutely insane. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a comment down below, like the video, and I ask that you guys subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm sorry I could not get you guys the progress of me getting to 1 bill, episode 2. I just did not like the way I recorded, but I know I made about 40 mil this week, guys, which is probably one of the first or maybe second time I've ever done that on this account. So really, really, really good week. Promise next video I come out, I'll show you guys the progression as we reach that 1 bill goal. But besides for that, that is it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.